Two Wisconsin parents are fighting back against prescription middleman companies, also known as pharmacy benefit managers or PBMs. This comes exactly 1 year after their 22-year-old son, Cole Schmidtnick, died from cardiac arrest after he suffered a severe asthma attack.
The cost of his inhaler had skyrocketed, and his family said he had no choice but to leave the pharmacy without it. In a First Alert update, Drew Best brings us the Schmidtnick's family fight to reform pharmaceutical middleman companies. Drew.
Cami and Bill, this lawsuit accuses Walgreens and Optum Rx of negligence, and the family is asking for punitive damages in the death of Cole Schmidtnick. The family's attorney also alleging the PBMs violated 3 different Wisconsin statutes. According to the lawsuit, Cole tried to refill his asthma medication at a Walgreens pharmacy in Appleton, but he was told at the point of sale that it was no longer covered, making what had originally been a $5 payment nearly $540. Cole suffering a fatal asthma attack just days later. The lawsuit claims by removing the medication from its coverage, Optum Rx caused Cole to leave the pharmacy without the asthma medication prescribed by his physician. The family also alleging that Walgreens had a duty to inform asthmatic patients who were using the medication of Optum Rx's decision to end its coverage. A statement from the Schmidtnick family's attorney reads in part, quote, "The conduct of both Optum Rx and Walgreens was deplorable. The evidence in this case will show that both Optum Rx and Walgreens put profits first and are directly responsible for Cole's death," end quote. I have also reached out to Optum Rx and the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association for comment. At this point, we are still waiting to hear back. Cami and Bill.